Mustapha, head of the various agency, NDIA and GLDA, NARI, GRDV, officers of the Ministry of Agriculture, regional officials, you the residents of Bushlot, and I think up to 51 Good Hope. I noticed the chairman of 51 Good Hope here. So, Minister is here this morning, and this afternoon, sorry, and I've noticed that this area is problem-free, meaning that we don't have no issues in this area. I was here in fact, last weekend I was in the area, and we had a number of issues pertaining to roads right next to the school over there, where some persons were experiencing flood in that particular area. But, you know, in this particular area, we are doing some work to upgrade the various community roads in this area and also the grounds. We are also looking at the other number of community issues. I know there's problem pertaining to the NDC and the management of the NDC, but we are fixing that. I notice the chairman is here, but we need some more cooperation from the residents to ensure that the NDC work more efficiently. That was one of the big concerns that we had when we were here a couple of days ago with Minister Ashley Singh in the particular area. So, as we have noticed that the government is trying its best to ensure that not only farmers, but all residents are comfortable in the various areas. But sometimes we as residents don't acknowledge the amount of work that has been completed by this government from since 2020 to now. And when we go into the various areas, there may be some minor issues or some minor problem, and we make it into a big issue. So we need to be contented about the work that the government is doing in all the areas. In every single NDC area. Minister was here a couple of weeks ago to commission the pump at Les Behold, and that is a very huge project. Also, we are doing some rehabilitation for some of the canals in this particular area. Some of them are blocked up in terms of weeds. We are doing some work here to ensure that we have the canal to the best state, to ensure we have drainage and irrigation. Also, the region is ensuring that we do some other community roads besides Ministry of Public Works. They are bringing out close to 365 roads maybe in the next month. And Bushlot is being, I think a number of roads in Bushlot is being allocated to be constructed here very shortly. So maybe in the next month or two, you will see those roads started. But the region is also doing a few streets in these areas to ensure that we help with the accessibility of the community. So I want to urge that this government is working from since 2020, the 2nd of August, that His Excellency the President swore in. We are working from that particular day to now, and even before that. We are working to ensure you, the residents, live a better and more comfortable life. And we have to be careful with people coming around now to say that, you know, they will promise you the sun and the moon very shortly. And sometimes we, the people and the residents, fall for these things. So we have to be very careful. This is a serious period in our country, and we need to educate ourselves on the progress that this government is making. So once again, let me urge that we be very focused and we ensure that if there's issues, the ministers them are here. They come every week. You will see ministers in the region. Minister Zulfi is here. Minister Manichan is going to Oriala to do a new secondary school there. There you have Minister Vikram is in Port Moran. He's giving a new home there. So minister is all over the region. But if, as residents, we don't communicate our issues to them, then we can't resolve these matters. And when we come back near to maybe next year when there's elections and we come, then, you know, we put up the hands and we say that we can't bring solution to these problems. We asking for these things to be fixed, but you didn't tell nobody. So that is why Minister is trying to engage you and trying to ask you some of the issues that you can be able to communicate with him. And this is one of the most proactive ministers. I've been working with him for a number of years now, maybe 20 years and over. And I can tell you he's one of the most proactive ministers, and he gets things resolved, irrespective of what problem. Not agriculture alone, any other problem. So Minister Zulfikar Mustapha is a minister that brings resolution to problems. And he's in the region actually every week. He's here for the last 4 weeks, I think, coming on a regular basis to ensure that he touch base with farmers, with residents, to ensure that we get results and we get resolution to our problem. So let me urge you that you continue to support this government and to ensure, don't make the NDC chairman divert you or myself divert you from voting for the PDP. If you get issues there, you can get resolution elsewhere. So don't say that how the NDC chairman I do nothing and me not vote back for PDP. That is a big problem we just get on the ground. So we have to ensure that if the NDC chairman not bring resolution, you have the ministers. So let me urge you to stay focused and continue to support the government. Thank you.
We are here today to share out some agriculture inputs to farmers. We have about 6 groups that will receive some equipment that we have to share out. But I wanted to hear some of the issues that are affecting farmers, because we have been making a lot of investment in agriculture, and I'm very dissatisfied how NARI has been performing in this part of the region. If the officers are saying that they send down information, we have the man who is in charge of NARI here, we will have a meeting and deal with those issues. They have to be more responsive. They have to, and I want to tell you that the president himself is very, very passionate about agriculture, because we see agriculture as one of the most important sectors, if not the most important sector. We have seen what has happened when we had the pandemic, when we had the COVID pandemic. Many countries around the world were unable to get food for the population, although they have a large financial resources, or they have large financial resources. There was just a downturn in production, and people were just producing for themselves. In Guyana, we are producing 60% of the food, but we want to increase that production, and we want to go into new crops. That is why whenever the president speaks, or myself, you will hear that we're talking about things like corn and soya. We're talking about the high-value crops. We're talking about new crops that never grow in Guyana before. Crops that we are importing and spend large sums of money to import. We want to grow those crops so that we can be self-sufficient. Whilst we are doing that, the crops that we have been growing over the centuries, we want to increase and increase production in those areas and improve what we have been doing. But if we continue like this, we can. And I want to make it very, very clear. When I became Minister of Agriculture, the budget in the agriculture sector was $13 billion, sorry. Reduced from 18 billion in 2015 to 13 billion in 2020. Today that budget has increased to 97 billion. And NARI is getting a large sums of money. We're buying a lot of resources for NARI. We're giving free chemicals. We're giving all the material, planting material free. And I don't know why people in this area are not getting those facilities. They will have to ensure that they answer to us when we meet. But I want to assure farmers here today that in future, all your planting material, we will give you free of cost. Everybody will have free planting. And I have my office. If you request a certain planting material and you don't receive it, we will ensure that we make that available. And what we don't have in our system, we'll try to get it. Also, some vulnerable farmers, we have been making chemical also, helping them with some chemical so that they can spray their crops. We know for a fact that there are some disease that affect plants. We have 11 nurseries around the country, planting nurseries. In this area, we have one at number 63 on the Corentyne. But those nurseries cannot produce all the planting material that we need. So what we have been doing over the last few months, we have contracted a company from India. They are now building a tissue culture lab. You know what's a tissue culture lab? Where we produce planting material in large quantity. So instead of producing a couple 100,000 planting material, when this lab completed by the end of this year, we will produce millions of planting material. But the most important thing is that this planting material that we'll produce will be disease resistance. So the curved leaf that you are experiencing in other diseases, we will produce those planting materials so that they can withstand those diseases. So that's where we are working. So the entire system in agriculture will be more revolutionized, where you will have material that diseases cannot affect. We want to make Guyana a food production hub. And as I said, we have a vision. That is why we are making the kind of investment in agriculture. The last government would have neglected agriculture so much that we had lost our place in CARICOM. We see a vision in agriculture. We want Guyana, as I said, because we are now building a food hub, a food terminal on the East Bank Highway, this Linden-Soesdijk Highway. And for us to have that food hub effective, we have to have large-scale production of crops. We have allocated $14 million for the building of that food hub. In a matter of months, you'll have a ferry service commence operations from Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Barbados. And then later on, that ferry service will go to other Caribbean countries. Now, when that ferry comes to Guyana, we have to have produce to put in that ferry to go to various countries. And if we don't produce, we cannot fill that food terminal or that food hub. So that is why we see it as important that we work with the farmers, and I myself are coming out with all the officers to work with you to ensure that we prepare this sector, we make it more resilient, we make it more productive, so that we can produce food in a large scale. Now, today, as I said, we are giving out, or we'll be giving out some equipment. We will also make these planting material, whatever you need, or let us know. We will try to get the planting material to you. But there are certain crops that we want to work with you to produce in large scale. Because what we are doing also, over the years, we have been producing primary products. And as soon as we produce it, we take it to the market. We are not processing it. So we want, as a matter of fact, we have built 13 agro-processing facilities across this country. And we want to add value. So instead of selling the pepper directly to the market, we sell it to the manufacturers to do pepper sauce and export the pepper sauce. We have in this Corentyne area here, We have the Humani company in Blackbush at Maibikuri. They are buying all the fresh pepper now. They are looking for tomato. They are looking for things like okra to buy in large scale. So those are the things that we have to ensure that we produce. And we'll work with you. But the issues that you all have raised just now, I will ensure that we deal with it. The drainage issue at Eversham and Exham, the health doctor, the health center, I will talk to the Minister of Health to see if they can get a permanent doctor at the health center here so that they can treat patients or at least get a doctor to visit more regularly. So that No, we gotta speak to the Minister of Health and ask him. And we'll deal with that. The cash grant issue, the Vice Chairman raised it, and I want to tell you that what you mentioned, you get a different perception. Probably somebody misinformed you. But the cash grant has to be transparent, and the Vice Chairman will come in your area and deal with it, right? The bridge, where is the comrade who raised the story with the bridge? So before you leave here, I want to talk to Lionel, give him the location, and we will build the bridge for you. Right? We will build the bridge for you shortly, very shortly. So you know the call back Minister of Public Works. Right, comrade? Good. Now, there are 6 groups here: Bushlot Farmers Group, Norney Kildonas Farmers Group, Manchester Alnis Farmers Group, number 4447 Amazon Farmers Group, 4851 Progressive Farmers Group, and Firish Farmers Group. Those are the groups that will receive tiller, pumps, spray cans, cutlass, files, shovel, hose, and rake. We also will give make a donation to this school because we want to get the agriculture sector back. But coming back to what we have been doing, if you look at all the sectors in the country, not only agriculture, but all the sector: health, housing, water, public infrastructure, public works, education, all the sector, we have seen massive improvement. Massive improvement, and you, the residents of this area, Central Corentyne area, you will be benefiting from these investments that we are making. In every single community you go, you see massive road rehabilitation taking place. You just heard a number of roads will be coming out again to rehabilitate. And we are building 2 brand new hospitals in this region. You see a massive improvement in education. More schools are being built. In the housing sector, over 35,000 persons would have received house plots since 2020. The school cash grant, y'all remember in 2014, when we introduced it, many persons, the opposition was saying that we want to bribe people because the election was 2015. Well, in 2015, when the election held, we came out of office, and the other party stopped it when they got into government. They discontinued it. We reintroduced it, and today every child is receiving almost $45,000. And next year they're going to receive $50,000, every child that attend public school. These are the improvements that we are talking about. So comrades, you might have issues at your local level. I want to assure you we will continue to deal with those issues. We will ensure that we work with you. In Region 6, we are expending large sums of money as I am speaking now. The tender have already been awarded, and works have already been started to construct the Hope Light Canal. We are now doing the embankment from number 66 to Kanji, where that embankment will keep out the backland water from coming into the cultivation and housing area drainage. The 2 Hope Light canals have already been awarded. The one at number 52, 51, 52 area, and the one at Lancaster, Manchester area. There will be a number of other canals that link to these 2 main canals. And at the Atlantic, we will build these large sluices. So the water from the backland, instead of coming in to the housing area or the cultivation area, will drain directly now to the Atlantic with that high level canal that we are creating. You all know the Hope Light Canal on the East Coast. We are building 2 like that in Region 6. We are building a number of pump stations. Whilst I am speaking now, we have another pump station to do irrigation for the front lands in Blackbush Polder. So the front land, from Wim to number 51, they will have their own irrigation pump station at a cost of over $700 million. Last couple of weeks, I commissioned the one at Adventure, a drainage pump, to help drain the Lesby Holden area. So all the 3 areas, Adventure, Eversham, and number 43, they have their own pump station with sluices. We are now awarding a contract to build another pump station at Chesney, Albion area. We have one that is being constructed now at Letterkenny. So all these are massive structures that we are building. And these are the kind of investment that we are making in the agriculture sector. And sometimes we just allow our judgment to fail us. When we, like a little drain black up, or your road little bad, you start fight up and row up and say you're not doing anything more. Let us don't allow frustration to overcome us. Let us work together. As you heard, we have an open door policy. Every single day, the president himself is out in the field dealing with issues, trying to see how we will deal with issues that are affecting people. And that is why we are on the ground, coming regularly to meet with you all, to listen to your views, to hear your concerns, so that we can take it on board. So this afternoon, I am very happy that we are here. I have heard those concerns that you have raised. Nari will deal with the issues. The DNI issue, Mr. Lionel will deal with it. And other issues, if you have personal issues, we can take it and see how we can deal with it. But generally, let me be very frank, we have seen a revolution in the agriculture sector. We have seen now Guyana is the most important country in CARICOM. The entire CARICOM is looking to Guyana for that leadership. And that sector, the agriculture food security sector in CARICOM, is being led by our president himself. And what he has been doing has captured the imagination and the interest of the entire Caribbean. And that is why places like Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, whose economy were built on tourism, oil and gas, the Eastern Caribbean countries, now are getting involved in agriculture. Because they see agriculture as one of the most important activities. Agriculture is responsible for us to produce food. And we will continue to work with you. We will continue to give you the support. And you trust us. As long as we are in government, we will continue to make these investments. So rest assured, we are modernizing this sector. We are making it more resilient. That is why we are working with farmers to introduce, we have built over 500 shade houses. And those are the things that we are doing. When you modernize agriculture, instead of doing agriculture, or you do planting in large areas of land, and you know farmers get this tendency, if you don't have large acreage, you can't do agriculture. Those days are gone. We have to do agriculture. We have to now do it in a more modernized way. Instead of doing hundreds of acres of land, the same kind of plant, the same amount of plant, we can plant in a hydroponics farm or we can plant in a shade house farm. So these are the things we are working with farmers with, to help them. So you also can get these help because we are making the kind of investment. So what we'll do, I will pause here, we'll go outside, I'll hand over the tools, and if you have any other concern personally, raise it with us. We will deal with it, but rest assured, as long as we are in government, as long as this PPP Civic is in government, we will continue to give you the support to ensure that we make the investment to make agriculture successful. Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Marlon McBean, and I'm representing Nornickel Loan Group. And I would like to thank the minister for these things that he have given to us. So we will be thankful, and we will try to maintain and upkeep these things that the minister give to us, so we could maintain our farm. Yeah, I would love the minister to maintain us with more things, because at least I know a lot of farmers around here planting big acres of farm, like some people planting like 6 to 7 acres of farm. Myself planting like 7 to 8 acres of farm. I would love to have more equipment to maintain this farm that we are doing.
My name is Taris Taldir. I'm from Alnis. I am in the Alnis Farmers Group, and I'm very thankful for this little supplies that we receive in here. And this is going to go a long way for us. We're very grateful to the government. Thank you so much. And thank you for everything so far. And I would like to also say that thank you for the little small plants and every other thing that you have given to us so far. So thank you so much.
Barton Day from Fire Farmers Group. On behalf of the farmers, I really appreciate it that the little token that y'all give me, because we really need them because it's a blessing and it's a pleasure to collect something on behalf of the group. Because every equipment that we use here is an equipment that does use in the farming department. So I'm very thankful on behalf of the group.